It was a normal school day on January 10th, 2013, when a 17-year-old high school student named Kendrick Johnson walked into his school gym in Valdosta, Georgia, a place he had been in countless times before, a place that felt familiar, safe, and routine. And like any other day, nothing about that morning suggested that it would end in tragedy. Because Kendrick was simply going about his day, attending classes, moving through the halls, and eventually making his way toward the gym, where students often went between classes, a space filled with sports equipment, mats, and the quiet echo of footsteps. But what makes this story so unsettling is not just what happened, but how it was discovered. Because at some point during that day, Kendrick entered the gym and never came back out. And for hours nothing seemed unusual, until it was noticed that he was missing. And as time passed, concern began to grow, because this was not normal. This was not someone who would simply disappear without explanation. And when the search began, no one expected what they were about to find. Because the next day, inside the school gym, Kendrick's body was discovered in a rolled-up wrestling mat, positioned upside down, his body trapped inside in a way that immediately raised questions. Because the official explanation suggested that he had climbed into the mat to retrieve a shoe and became stuck, unable to free himself. But for many people, that explanation did not feel complete. It did not fully explain how something like that could happen without anyone noticing, especially in a school environment. And as investigators looked into the case, surveillance footage became a key piece of focus, because cameras had captured Kendrick entering the gym area, but there were gaps, moments that were not clearly accounted for. And that lack of clarity added to the growing uncertainty, because without a clear timeline, it became difficult to understand exactly what had happened in those missing moments. And as the case gained attention, it quickly turned into something much larger than a simple accident, because questions began to spread, theories began to form, and people started looking deeper into every detail, from the positioning of the body to the condition of the scene, to the evidence that was or was not present. And as more information surfaced, the case became increasingly controversial, with some believing the official ruling of accidental death, while others strongly disagreed, arguing that there were too many inconsistencies, too many unanswered questions. And as time went on, the story continued to evolve, drawing national attention, sparking debates, and leaving behind a mystery that even years later still does not feel fully resolved. Because what makes this case so disturbing is not just the tragedy itself, but the uncertainty surrounding it. The idea that something may have happened in a place where people assumed safety, a place that should have been monitored, understood, and secure, yet still became the setting of something that remains deeply questioned. And even now, the story of Kendrick Johnson continues to be discussed, analyzed, and revisited, because at its core, it presents a question that has never been fully answered. What really happened inside that gym? And how did a normal school day turn into one of the most debated and unsettling cases in recent memory?